Now is Chicago Fraternal Order of Police President John Catanzara. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
We heard Mayor Lightfoot say that she absolutely does not want federal troops brought into Chicago. Have you spoken to the mayor?
I have not.
What would you say to her if you could meet? Have you tried to reach out to her?
No, I think that for the time being that perception is, or that communication is probably unplugged after the text message barrage that she sent my way and the name calling that resulted from it. But I think that she should take up the president on his offer, especially with a pending march or whatever you want to call it, that's for the Dan Ryan on Saturday. And the reality that is a federal felony, obstruction of commerce, interference of commerce. So federal agents can charge these protesters with federal felonies and send them to MCC instead of Cook County, where we already know that Tim Evans, Tom Dart, and Kim Foxx are going to have them out before dinner time.
You said federal agents. President Trump said federal troops. Do you support federal agents coming in and working behind the scenes, so to speak, or do you support actually having personnel on the streets?
Well, the personnel on the street is a little bit trickier of a dynamic, but again, that's something that Pritzker could do tomorrow morning. If he could do it right now if he really wanted to. And I find it rather appalling that the only time that he even speaks strongly about the rioting and looting is because now it's coming to his front doorstep, you know, his neighborhood where his ritzy friends live. And I don't know why they haven't spoken up sooner or louder, but, you know, now it's on their doorstep. And what other parts of this city has been suffering through, they don't care anymore. And the people who are the largest tax base in this city are going to be chased out of not only the city, but the state. And I can't say I blame them one bit.
We've heard that 400 troops were sent downtown on Sunday night into Monday morning, and there were a lot of store owners that said we still didn't have police come there. What is the response you're getting from officers about what they were dealing with in the overnight hours of Sunday?
Well, you know, 400 officers is usually more than enough to quell any crowd, theoretically speaking. But when you're outnumbered 2 to 1, not necessarily a big issue, but they're in car caravans. They're roaming downtown. They can go from point A to point B in a matter of 2 minutes, 2 miles away. The police can't do that. We can't reallocate 400 officers from one spot to the next that fast. So they have the advantage there. You know, if they're going to enact a curfew order, they need to obviously also enact an ordinance that allows officers to impound these vehicles, take away the ability to car caravan throughout downtown.
We had also heard that the shooting that might have instigated this on the south side of 57th and Racine, it was a 20-year-old man who had pulled a gun on officers there. He has had now charges filed against him. There was no body cam video. Is that an issue still with a lot of officers not having that available?
Well, it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's an issue. It's not a priority, and it hasn't been a priority for the police department in general. You know, in an age of defunding where they're calling for less money, the consent decree, and this is a perfect example of how we need to increase spending to make the consent decree even a viable option. But body cams have always been part of the every patrol district and every member of the CPD in the patrol ranks. The units specifically that were responsible or taking part of that incident in Inglewood, they don't have body cams. They were just reorganized under new names and a new location where they start every day. That new location doesn't have enough, obviously, dedicated docking stations, charging stations, and even the Wi-Fi to download the data currently. So, of course, there's no body cams. But again, the mayor talks about every officer who encounters the public should have a body cam. Every politician that encounters the public should have a body cam 24/7 too, so we can see what they're doing every day. I guarantee you that's not happening.
Quickly,
because if it did, then we'd be able to see the conversation I had with the mayor when I sat down with her 2 months ago, where she said she wanted this contract worked out and the back pay part of it for the last 3 years that our officers have been working without a contract taken care of this summer. That came out of her mouth. And now the lawyers have obviously moved the goalpost, and now they're adding poison pills to that agreement that are going to make it almost impossible to come to a financial package for the 3 years our members have been without a contract. And it's a disgrace. It's made her a lot.
Quickly, before we let you go, a Gallup poll says America's confidence in police is at the lowest it's been in 3 decades. What do you say about that?
Well, in part, it's been the lowest in 3 decades because politicians refuse to point the finger where it largely belongs. I'm not saying the police can't do a better job. I've said it over and over and over again. We could be a little more human. We could obviously show a little more discretion and have a little more humility. But the biggest problem is with obviously accountability and basically consequences, whether it's looking in a mirror and saying, I'm the one who's part of the problem, or politicians and lawmakers, law enforcement officers like Kim Foxx, like Tim Evans, and like Tom Dart, and start doing their job that they swore an oath to do, because they are not right now. And there's, I heard Matt O'Shea on the radio earlier today. There's so many aldermen in that city council who say they're pro-police, who represent largely residential police districts and first responders in general, and they do nothing to back up that rhetoric whatsoever when it comes to city council because they're so afraid of backlash.
All right,
Well,
John, we have to cut you off there. John Catanzara from the Fraternal Order Police, thanks for joining us this
Thanks,
morning.
John.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Check of the